Hi guys, Santana, Garrett here, and Riley the dog, and this is my very first YouTube video. Today we are going to be making DIY medical masks and of course matching hair scrunchies. Save the world and look good doing it. It's my motto. I do have to say that these are not a substitution for the N95 masks. However, a lot of people are posting on social media that there is a shortage in the community. So doctors, nurses, anyone working in the healthcare, even good for people at home or just running to the grocery store, these bad boys got you covered. So let's get started. So for this project, we are going to need 2 pieces of fabric measuring 6 by 9 inches, 2 pieces of elastic cut at 7 inches. They could be 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch. You don't want to go much bigger than that. I'm just using what I have, to be honest, because all the stores are out of elastic. Scissors, either pins or clips. We are going to take our 2 pieces of 6 by 9 inch fabric. We're going to put them together, good side to good side, where the bad side is facing up and also on the bottom. So we're gonna sandwich that together, get them lined up nice and neat. And there are a couple ways to do this part. I'm gonna show you my way. I'm going to just make sure my piece of elastic doesn't get twisted and put the other piece, same thing, about a 1/2 inch from the corner. So I've got that top one pinned, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start about halfway down the piece of fabric, a little bit past, because what we're gonna wanna do is leave a 2.5 to 3 inch gap opening. That way, once we're finished, we can go ahead and turn this right side out. Let's do this. At your ends, you're gonna wanna do that back stitch. And then same thing over the elastic, just because it's gonna be pulling. I like to go over it a couple times just to make sure it's nice and secure. Once the needle is down and you get to the corner, you're just gonna wanna rotate your fabric. It'll stay nice in place. And we also wanna be careful that we are not going over our elastic. So just be mindful of that. So across this 9 inch, it's just gonna be a straight stitch. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, boys and girls. We are gonna go ahead and take our elastic, and this side I just like to, I'm not gonna take the time to pin it all down. It's not that serious. So I'm gonna, same thing, put it about 1/2 inch from that corner. This is why I'm not a good baker, because I don't measure or follow instructions to a T, and you have to do that to be a good baker. But sewing, I mean, it's art, so it's whatever. All right, same thing. We are going to put that elastic about a 1/2 inch in, go over it a couple times just so it's nice and secure, and make sure it doesn't get twisted inside there. Same thing, just straight across that long side. No elastic to worry about. And like I said, we're gonna wanna leave that 2.5 to 3 inch gap. That way. We can go ahead and turn it right side out. But before we do that, we're gonna want to, well, I like to cut my corners. Just be careful that you avoid the stitching. So we'll cut these. I'm left-handed, by the way, fun fact. This will just make it a little bit easier when we do turn it right side out, that we get that nice pointy corner rather than it being kind of frumpy. Nobody likes a frumpy corner. Am I right or am I right? So carefully go ahead and push your fabric through that hole to get it right side out. And Now that we are right side out, I'm going to go ahead and take either a pin, pair of scissors closed, and poke those corners out. Right now, you can see they kind of end right where the elastic is, but in reality, you poke it out, you're gonna get a little bit more space there. Right, you don't wanna poke too hard because you'll poke through the fabric. Okay, get it, girl. A little self-motivation for you. Okay, now we're almost there. We're almost to a mask. We're gonna head over to the ironing board and we're just going to press and create pleats in the mask, and then we'll come back to the sewing machine. So, let's go. Now we are going to go ahead and press the material. We'll take our iron and we'll go ahead and start with this opening here so that lays nice and flat. Now we're gonna want to make those pleats. I've done a few masks with 3 pleats. I think visually and fit-wise, it looks better with 4. So I'm gonna go down about 1 inch, do 1/4 inch pleat, and repeat. So about there. As I get 2 done, I could pin it, but I like these clips because it's easier and you're not gonna poke yourself. Okay. So I'll mess with it until I like the way it looks. And let's see, I almost like this. Probably an easier way to do it, but this is how I've done it. So we're gonna go ahead, once we like the way our pleats look, once they look nice and even, we're gonna go ahead and iron that down. Press it down again, getting the edges. And going all the way across. Okay, looks good to me. We're gonna head back over to the machine and sew it all the way around the edges, especially this side here that has that opening. So now we are going to sew around the edges. Some people keep it pinned. I've pressed it well enough that it's kind of staying in place, so let's do it to it. Again, back stitch at the start and the end of your sewing. Back where we started, and boom, we have a mask. And I know right now it looks pretty small, but once you put it on, it does open up, and well, I guess this will be my mask. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. You just watched me make the mask. Now we're gonna make a matching hair scrunchie. All right, I am going to just use a piece of scrap material. This is almost 4 inches and length 18, but honestly, like I make hair scrunchies of all different sizes, widths, lengths, stretchiness. We're just using scraps. So first we're gonna go ahead and same thing, it's gonna go good side to good side. I like to fold out like a 1/4 inch, fold down and sew that down, and that is, by the time we turn it right side out, it's going to give us a cleaner edge. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and sew this long ways. Remember that back stitch anytime you start and end sewing. Sew all the way down. Okay. excess off. And I like to use a really big safety pin and hook it on the edge, close your safety pin, and then shimmy it all the way through. So now my safety pin is in my material. It's in a little barrel of material, and I'm just gonna push it until it is all the way through the other end. So I like to scrunch, 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 and then pull the bottom. Same thing, scrunch, 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 pull the bottom, and repeat one more time. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. And then we have our safety pin, and we'll just pull it all the way through. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take that safety pin out, and now we're gonna go ahead and put our elastic in. We are right side out. I'm going to hook my safety pin on the end of the elastic, and same thing, we're gonna start at one end and just shimmy it through. I'm just use like my strand of elastic, and then afterwards I decide how scrunchy I want it to be and how much elastic I want it to be. So let's go ahead and push this all the way through, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now my elastic is all the way through. I'm going to create a circle, and I like to spread it out and see. Looks like a good scrunchie to me. So then I will go ahead and take off my safety pin, and I will cut at the desired length. And I feel like I waste a lot less elastic when I do it like this. So just your standard knot, pull it tight, and then cut off the rest of that elastic. No elastic wasted. It's a win-win. So now I'm gonna find the seam on both of my ends, and I want to make sure it doesn't get twisted. Really not a huge deal. There aren't many rules when it comes to this. So I'm going to match up my seams there, and I'm going to sew it down. Back stitch, and just sew right along the edge. And I like to go over it twice just because it is being stretched. If you're anything like me, you take your hair tie out, you put it back up quite frequently, so I like to make it really secure. And now we're just gonna cut off all of the excess thread. And boys and girls, what we have here, and I also like to burn my little edges off, but I'll save that for later. We have a hair scrunchie to match our mask. This concludes my very first DIY YouTube tutorial on making medical face masks and of course the matching hair scrunchie. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my way to give back to community. I know a lot of people who work in the health field, and there is a shortage for masks and other supplies right now. So my way of giving back and sewing community, people, if you have the skill, the supplies, and the time, I encourage you to do the same. Whip out your sewing machines and do something good for your community. A lot of those people are risking their lives to take care of us, and honestly, it's the least we could do. It's the least I could do. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you enjoyed my very first video. Come here, sweet girl. Come here, sweet girl. Oh my goodness. Oh, she loves it. She loves it so much. Oh yes.